Well, hi everybody. You know, I got used to the trim gauge of my past boat, but this old Bayliner Sport Fish did not have one. I know I don't need it, and the old diehards are going to say it's worthless, but being involved with aircraft so long, I feel really lonely without a lot of gauges. You know, I purchased the port trim sender, which also included the starboard limitometer and the gauge from Amazon. I also purchased a 2-inch metal hole saw and 25 feet of wire as well. All total for only $69. So let's get started. Okay, I've cut the wires and removed the old sender. Starboard, trim sender, starboard. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these wires right about here. Okay, so this is basically how it works. This variable rheostat that I put in here, it's the same thing as using the sender, but I'm using this right now to test it, and this will be the same as your 12-volt battery. And here is the gauge, and I've got it set right now for half. And if I turn this, hopefully you can see that, I can adjust where I want it. Now, the center of that gauge, I'm going to measure now the ohms of this rheostat, and I'm going to then set up the new one to the same ohms. Then when I put it in the boat, outdrive, I'm going to set level. Okay, so that's reading 101 ohms. So I'm going to set this now. Okay, it looks like it's set for 0, so that would be probably full down. So let's set this. There we go, close enough. So now I can mount this to the boat. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so I've removed the old sensor, 2 bolts, that's all it is here. And I've taped up the wires and cut them back a little bit because they're in good shape, but they weren't right here at the sender. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to hook up the new sender. There's the 2 wires from the sender right there. The brown and white one, and the black one is ground, and that goes down, in, and out. And it looks easy to change, but it's not. So we're just going to tap in and run our own wire, which is white. I use a splicer to connect the brown-white wire. The other wire is ground. If your gauge reads backwards, just switch these 2 wires. I did this because the brown and white wire was pretty inaccessible under the dash, so I added my own. Make sure to add your shrink wrap before you solder. I'm going to wrap that with high temp tape. We used a lot of this in the military back in the day. It only sticks to itself, and it stretches nice and tight. And just in case, because it's going to get blown around back here, I'm going to put a zip tie here, small zip tie to make sure the tape doesn't unravel. Okay, now I can undo the tape here. Put this on right back here like this. Okay, so that'll turn now. I can adjust it. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is go up top side and put the gauge in. Okay, so now that I've got the sender and white wire spliced in, I just ran the wire inside to the dash along the existing wires. So again, I ran my own sender wire because I couldn't easily get to the brown and white wires, which is actually in there. But because this dash only opened up so far and the wires were buried, putting my own wire in was easier. Well, then I drilled the hole and installed the gauge. Found a ground at a positive, used my quick connectors to connect the wires, and that was that. Okay, it's all buttoned up. Let's turn it on again, make sure. Well, that's it. Pretty easy to do. You know, if this gauge reads backwards, just hold the setting button in for 5 seconds and it will reverse. Right on the money. Ha ha ha. Also, I can't put my drive all the way up or down here in the garage as it hits the wall, but as you can see, the gauge is working and the right way. You know, rotating the sender will make fine adjustments, and I hope this helps for those who might want to do this too. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Dave Herbert, the Night Flyer, signing off till the next episode.